start the January 29th, 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Number 1, call to order. Number 2, roll call. Commissioner Meister? Here. Commissioner Savola? Commissioner Savola?
Yes.
Commissioner or Chairperson Forbear?
Okay, I'm here. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay,
Can you hear me? Evola.
I heard you both. Thank you very much. Number 3, invocation and pledge of allegiance. I'd like to do an invocation.
Hello.
It's invocation time. Father, we ask that you be with all of us, that you keep our minds focused on what is before us as a community, before the community is used to. That you direct us with open hearts and see that we do for all the one. Amen. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag,
of the United
to
States
the United States of America,
and to the republic
and to the republic for which it
one
stands,
nation,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Amen.
And now I'd like to open number 4, public comment. There'll be a 3-minute time limit for each person. And did everyone sign up on the sign-up sheet? Okay, so when you come forth, if you would give us your first name and last name, so that we can report who all was here and what was said. All right, we are now open for public comment. Who would like to be the first one? Yes, sir, step right up. There you go. Go ahead and ask.
I'm William Hines.
Yes, Mr.
My backyard is basically adjacent to the gravel pit. And I see no air quality studies before, nor planned for afterwards, nor do I see any water studies done. And I don't need somebody's diesel electric running right outside my yard. Why aren't they using commercial AC power from Matanuska Electric? Much cleaner. And in fact, I didn't see any EPA studies done or permits. There's references with EPA funded by EPA and this and that, but I don't see environmental studies done at all, which leaves me adamantly opposed to them.
Would you say your property is adjacent?
I'm on that triangle lot that's just above it. That's 11300 West Hubner Circle. 11305, I'm sorry. And I don't know what it's going to do to my water tables, my well, and I don't know how it's gonna affect my resale value of the house except negative. I don't need trucks. I already hear trucks on the Parks Highway all the time. And I hear the train every morning. And then you want to run a diesel generator outside my yard 24/7? I don't think so. And what sort of air pollutants am I going to get out? And they say carbon monoxide. Well, yeah, diesel electric generators, diesel motor generates all sorts of air pollutants. And why are they not using commercial power? And like I say, there should be a bunch of test wells done for water contamination, water table contaminants, and the check before and periodically afterwards. And likewise, we're there. So I seen a thing where they had this large fuel tank that was in a pit that was lined that was apparently if it should all leak out, it would be contained and not get anywhere else. Well, maybe that works and maybe it don't. But why do you even need a diesel electric generator? No. How's that going to affect Houston High School traffic and junior high traffic up there? Is that a junior high up there also? Hawk Lane? That'd be a concern. I've seen something about a truck every hour. I don't need that traffic. Don't want it. Don't want a diesel electric for my neighbors.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Haynes. Yes, sir.
I'll go next.
Loretta?
This still on? Yep. My name's Tony Woolers. I actually share part of the gravel pit. I came here today to give you a little background on my experience with the guy trying to open this business. My first meeting with him, he'd stuck super sacks all over on my side. And after a meeting with the police, as well as several phone calls in which he told me he didn't believe me where the property lines were, we had to have it surveyed again, which I walked it with a surveyor. I had done this the year before, paid quite a bit of money to have this taken care of, so I knew exactly where the property lines were. Yet, we had to do it again, and now I will give him credit, he does keep to his side for the most part. He drives over on mine to mess with stuff, so he's constantly on my land. It's not just the super sacks down there. There's also people throwing trash. There's a lot of trash bags, a lot of various refuse getting down there. The smell is absolutely atrocious. There's some type of, I don't know, diesel smell, kind of like a cutting fuel or something like that coming up. It's on the summer, it's all day long. As far as the trucks 1 per hour, all summer long when he started dropping stuff in there, there was 2 to 3 in and out of there. It was not 1 truck an hour, not at one point ever. To top that off, once it got labeled as a nuisance property, he didn't care one bit. He walked up there, had his guy rip the tag down and continued to dump for days, as well as going and operating down there and moving things. I really don't think we want this in the neighborhood. I mean, it'd be one thing if he'd shown any kind of good faith that he was going to try to run and care about the environment. There used to be a lot of wildlife came up in my yard. I don't have wildlife anymore. They just don't come around to the smell. I'm sure they're in the area, but they don't come past by me anymore. It's just not a good thing to have that down there. I think the gravel pit used to be nice. People would go in and out of there. They'd ride their machines around. It's a dump now. It's a dump and it smells terrible. If this is supposed to be a holding place, then it's going to be a continually holding because I never saw anything come out. Out of all the trucks I still go down there, I never saw anything come out. Nothing but went in and got dumped. You know, I don't know if anybody spent time in that gravel pit, but you can only take a scoop or two out of the gravel and you're at the water table. It's all the way down. When it rains, some of those plastic caps gotta have some kind of cutting tool or something in there because there's rainbows in the puddles. There is definitely some contaminants coming out of that stuff. Yeah, it's in a super sack. The super sacks aren't waterproof. I don't know what more I can say about it. I just think it's a terrible idea. And now tonight I find out he wants to run a diesel generator right next to my house. Come on, I gotta be able to sleep too. I'm already dealing with the Parks Highway. I don't need a generator run on the other side.
And where is your house located?
I'm 11763. I literally share the driveway.
Would this be
Yep.
Okay. All right,
I don't know that I have anything else to add. That's, I guess, my 2 cents.
and how long have you noticed in the pit?
I saw it when it started, because I saw the first few bags got dropped on my side. And, by the time I had gotten any contact, there was quite a few bags down there. I don't know the exact count, 50 to 100. There was probably, I don't know, 15 or 20 on my side.
Was this in 24, 25?
No, this was this summer. That thing has filled up in this summer. He didn't purchase it until somewhere in June, July. And I mean, I can show you pictures of it. There's thousands of bags in there. This thing is full.
We are currently at 4 minutes.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next person I would like to speak.
My name is Larry Mayo, and I'm in the property right above the gravel pit.
Would you be on this map?
Yeah, see the one that's all cleared right above the gravel pit? I'm right across the street.
And I call it, what's your last name?
For me?
Your last name?
Your
Your last name.
Mayo. Mayo.
And whenever you're ready, sir.
The presence of a plastic recycling facility within a residential area is considered hazardous primarily due to air and water pollution, as well as the risk of industrial accidents. While these facilities are vital for waste management, the process is used to sort, shred, and melt plastic release a variety of toxic substances. 1. Air quality and toxic emissions. The most immediate hazard to nearby residents is the inhalation of toxic fumes and dust. VOCs and particulates. Melting and shredding plastics release volatile organic compounds and VOCs like benzene, toluene, and xylene.
City council, or not city council, but the clerk's office. This is for your hearing, what you would like to say.
I'd like to say everything that's being said right here, but
Yeah, I can't allow it because I don't.
you don't what?
I don't know if there's privacy rights to it or where the.
This is public information. You do little research and you'll see.
Where is this recording?
Off the internet for plastic recovery and recycling. I mean, you can Google it yourself and you'll come up with the same thing.
What's the name of this?
The name of the recording? I have no idea what the name of the recording is. I just Googled what I wanted to find out and went through some of the research that I got, and this is what I came up with. And it's a 3-minute presentation of what I wanted to say and what plastic recycling does in a residential area. But you're going to tell me I'm not allowed to present that?
Because this is a public hearing for you to say what.
And this is public information.
So this is public comment. So what public comment is when you as a person going to put your own voice. If this was a public hearing, you would have to submit the information that you would like to present at the hearing. But at this meeting, I'm sorry, you cannot.
Plastic recycling fumes typically travel
No
hundreds of feet
recording,
outdoors,
no
but can
video.
linger or concentrate significantly in
This
enclosed
has to
spaces.
be
Factors like
something
wind
that
speed,
comes
temperature,
directly
stack
from
height determine.
No recording. Well, obviously, I'm opposed to this happening in a residential area. It's not, the residential area is the last place it should happen because of the different atmosphere, the pollution to the water, the land, air. It's a, you can't heat plastic and melt plastic without getting some kind of toxic fumes from it. Great idea the guy's got. I mean, kudos to him for coming up with it, but it's not something that should be done in a residential area. It should be done in an industrial area where it can be monitored. Who's going to monitor it? Who's going to make sure that he's got filters on his exhaust and things like that so that when he's grinding the plastic, that there's no plastic dust floating through the air coming up and landing in my hot tub. It's just, you know, I got grandkids that play on my, it just, everything that happens when you do this with plastic, and everybody knows that you can't melt plastic without an odor or a smell. He wants to run this operation Monday through Saturday from 6 to 9 p.m. It's just not feasible for a residential area. I mean, I don't want to smell it. I don't want to listen to it. The gravel pit itself, when they presented the gravel pit, it was, I argued that fact, and gravel pit was supposed to be restored back to its natural state when they were done hauling gravel out of it. That never happened. City of Houston never followed through with what they said and put brought in vegetation and put the gravel pit back to its natural state. So who's going to maintain or police this gentleman in his operation right below my house that I have to listen to Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. And have to put up with the toxic chemicals and stuff that's going to be emitted into the air.
Okay.
I mean, can you answer who's going to police this operation? Or the guy's got pretty much a monopoly. His mother company is him, Grizzly Wood is him, and the plastic recovery is him. So who is going to maintain what he does? Who's going to oversee what he does?
That, I cannot answer that.
Who can?
That would be the city clerk's office with the Department of Public Works. They would be able to address those questions
And I can talk to them anytime?
anytime. They're open 9 to 5.
We are pushing 6 minutes.
All right, well, that you wouldn't let me play my recording that said everything I needed to say. I will pardon you with my 3 minutes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And who would like to speak next?
Thank you. My name is Tam Bobie. I'm a resident of Willow, and I'd like to speak in favor of the resolution. I'm the executive director of Valley Community for Recycling Solutions. Our facility is located at the Central Landfill in Palmer, and we collect materials in Talkeetna, Willow, Big Lake, and Sutton. We've been in operation since 1998, and last year we collected over 2,000 tons of material for sale to manufacturers for reuse. Our organization has been partnering with Alaska Plastic Recovery since 2022. I've been on his Palmer worksite numerous times, both during business hours, before hours, and after hours. I've been there when Patrick's not been there. The site is always clean and well organized. The materials are safely stored away in containers or super sacks. Nothing is lying on the ground. There are no nasty fumes or odors. There's no soil or water contamination of any sort. So I'm confused by the CUP requirement for a liner at the site. I deal with environmental regulations at our recycling facility. We collect, bale, and store over 100 tons of plastics every year, and there have never been any environmental concerns. Professionally, though, I would have a concern about putting a liner down, either at our site or in the gravel pit. The purpose of a liner is to prevent contaminants from reaching the soil or groundwater, and with these plastics and with his process, that's not a risk. There's no way his organization, his business, could have gotten federal funding from the USDA, the EPA, and NOAA if there was environmental risk for groundwater contamination. These grants are not easy to get. They are very stringent requirements. But in addition to preventing contaminants from getting into the groundwater, a liner will also prevent rain or snow from soaking into the ground, and that could be a real problem. You've created a puddle at best, a pond if it's really wet, and an ice rink if it freezes. And that would be my concern. But by trying to prevent a non-existent problem, you'll create a real safety issue. So please do approve this CUP application. It's a great thing for the environment. It will be a positive addition to the Houston community. I don't think it will be near as disruptive to the residents as they fear, but please remove the requirement for a liner. Thank you.
Thank you. And, sorry, what was the name of your recycling?
Valley Community for Recycling Solutions.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Yes, ma'am. Come right up.
Sandra Hines.
I'm sorry?
Sandra Hines.
Sandra Hines? Go right ahead, Sandra.
I was glad to hear from her and how safe they plan on being, but I know one thing. You cannot control the elements, no matter what you do. And there's always things that are unforeseen. And our house sits back up to the ridge, not the house itself, but our property sits back up to the ridge that drops off. And air goes up and blows, and it's going to be blowing right in our yard. The fumes you cannot contain completely. It will bring problems. And our main thing I'm concerned about is that our property value will go down. We'll lose a lot of the equity we have in our house because of it. And I don't think people have thought about that one. Nobody wants to move in to a place where you're backed up to a recycling, no matter how safe it is. I'm concerned about taxes going higher because now we have businesses in the area on both sides of us. So that's also a possibility that we will have to pay higher taxes because of these places going in. So I think for me, even as an older person, I can't afford to lose that and move to another area. It's just not feasible for us. So it makes it hard for us to adjust to that. And since our backyard that we use quite a bit is going to be polluted, I don't care how safe you try to be, you just cannot do it 100%. Having gardens in the backyard to eat from, that's going to be polluted as well, just from the air it takes into the plants and into the soil. So it becomes a real burden for us as an elderly couple to take care of our yards and have the good home that we have right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else care to speak? Okay, hearing no other public comments, we will move on to approval of the agenda, tonight's agenda. Before I make that motion, I would like to make an amendment to change person to be heard, number 9 says none. I'd like to amend that to put Patrick Simpson as a person to be heard, and that there will be no public hearing.
So you want a motion to strike 10 and put under persons to be heard on number 9 as Patrick Simpson?
Yes.
Okay, I'll second that. Any discussion?
So we'll go ahead and take a vote on approving the amendment.
We're voting on the motion to amend the agenda.
Yes.
Okay.
So Commissioner Meister, yes.
Commissioner
Doing a roll
Faubert,
call vote.
Okay. Commissioner Savala?
Yes, this is just to hear Mr. Simpson speak. Is that what you're getting at?
What?
We're just amending the agenda.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with it. It's not. Yeah. I was just confused that the Simpson gentleman you mentioned. Yeah.
So the motion that we're voting on is to remove the word none on line 9 of the agenda and add Patrick Simpson, owner of Alaska Plastic Recovery. And then we want to strike, and then we want to strike number 10, which says public hearing.
Okay.
So that's
Thank
what
you.
you're voting on. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So all in favor?
We have to
Commissioner
do a roll call
Meister,
vote.
yes. Commissioner Savola
Yes.
and Commissioner Faubert?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Now I'd like to get a motion to approve tonight's agenda with the amendment made.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda with amendments.
So I'd like to call vote. Commissioner Meister, yes.
We need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay, starting all over. So roll call for vote. Commissioner Meister, yes. Commissioner Savola,
Yes.
Commissioner Faubert,
Aye.
motion passes. Special order of the day, there are none. And reports. Chairperson, Commissioner Roubaix, did you have a report that you would like to give at this time?
Commissioner Faubert, yes, I would like to report that we are going to be concluding the amendments to our bylaws, which is exciting. That's this meeting. And look forward to hearing from Patrick Simpson regarding this resolution 25. I also would like to report that we are going to be having a work session at 4 p.m. before the next scheduled meeting, which, I'm sorry, I have to look at my calendar. February's next scheduled meeting would be the 26th of February. And we will be having a work session on that day at 4 p.m. prior to our regular scheduled meeting.
At what time?
At 4 p.m. And I hope everybody can attend. That is all I have to report.
All right. And Mayor, would you have a report for us tonight?
I do not have nothing for you.
Do we have any council report? Parks and Rec report? Approval of the previous minutes for November 20th, 25. I'd like to make a motion to accept or approve the minutes from the November 20th meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second. I'll second.
Did she second? Okay.
Yes, Commissioner Faubert, second.
And then a call for vote. Commissioner Meister, yes. Commissioner Savola,
Yes.
Commissioner Fulbert,
Aye.
and now we're to person to be heard. And tonight we have Patrick Simpson, owner of Alaska Plastic Recovery, that would like to do a presentation on his project.
Hello, can you guys hear me in the online?
Yes.
Good, okay. So thank you for allowing me to tell you a little bit about this project. Alaska Plastic Recovery is a wholly owned subsidiary of PKS Consulting. In 2020, I, as PKS Consulting, started looking at the problem of plastics and the pollution, and predominantly at that time was focusing on plastic ocean waste, the plastic that's coming up on our beaches. And then once we collect that, what can we do with it? Many landfills won't accept it. So I developed some technologies that were mobile, that allowed me to go to different communities and process the plastic that's stockpiled there. I built my first system in 2022. We took it to, in 2023, took it to Seward, took it to Soldotna, took it to Anchorage, and we've been operating it in Palmer primarily after that. Took the system again down to Haines in 2024. And so we've demonstrated mobility. It all sits within connexes in a 53-foot trailer. And because of the mobility, that was why we required an external generator. So the equipment that I purchased and used, it wasn't possible for me to go to a remote site and make sure that I have the appropriate power. I need 480 three-phase. Voltage is high. Three-phase power is not necessarily available everywhere, and it's somewhat expensive to hook up site by site. So I have a generator. I leased the generator from NC Power. NC Power is a very nice, quiet generator, and I'm not sure it's going to be as loud as you think it's going to be. But what I'll say is we're currently operating in Palmer, and I'll show you some pictures in just a second. I'd invite you to come over come on over, just see what our current operation looks like, see how we're processing the plastic, see the equipment that we have, see what we're making. We've been there for 3 years, and I stand by my track record there. I think we've been a very good custodian of that lot. Our conditional use permit, what we're requesting is for the processing of plastic and the storage of plastic on this site. We do have a lot of plastic. There's a lot of plastic in the world. But there is no evidence that this plastic has actually caused any contamination at the current site. I'll show you some pictures in just a second. But again, I'd invite you to actually come over and look, and I'll explain what I mean by that. The materials that we will have are high-density polyethylene, low-density polyethylene, polypropylene, and polyethylene terephthalate, commonly called PET. These are the same plastics you find in your trash can. These are the plastics that you find in your office. These by themselves do not contaminate anything. They're plastic. By virtue of being plastic, I mean, that's why we buy them, because they're rugged. They don't degrade. I mean, they last for a long, long time, way too long. There was a comment made that there's volatiles that are emitted. That's not true for all plastics. It turns out if you have polyvinyl chloride, PVC, absolutely. If you take PVC and you melt it, it gives off chloride gas. But if you melt these 4 types of plastics, HDPE, LDPE, polypropylene, polyethylene terephthalate, it just melts. The only thing that we have in there that gives any kind of off-gassing is the water, the moisture that's in the product, and it creates some steam. So it melts. It doesn't burn. To give an off-gas, you have to burn it. We're not getting to that high of a temperature. So anyway, I'd like to stress this is a mechanical process. We do have some high temperatures to get this plastic to melt, but it goes up to 450, but it's all contained within a single system. It's not open. It's not like we melt it in a vat and pour it into something. It's all contained. It's pressed into forms. And here's an example here of a 2x4. This is one of our scraps, but you can see we were moving from a brown into a gray. But we make these kinds of materials that this used to be, this orange stuff here was conduit that was on spools that were sitting over at a waste site in Palmer for years. And they contacted us and say, can you do anything with it? Yeah. We brought it in, we cut it up, melted it, add some black to it, and it makes gray. There is no chemical recycling going on. We don't have any water at all as a part of this process. There's no water, there's no solvents. Everything is done on site and it's dry. And remember, the initial concept for this system was to be mobile. So you can't necessarily go to a site and hook up a water system or bring water to it. So we designed it without the need for water. The other thing I'll point out is that ventilation-wise, we still do ventilate. People work in these, but it's warm air coming out. It's not off-gassing chemicals. Why is this gravel pit such a great spot? So when I'm looking for a spot, first of all, I need size, and it's 6 acres. It's a big facility, and of that 6 acres, three of it is cleared, and 3 is not. Of the 3 that's cleared, it's all below grade. So when you drive down Parks Highway and look, you can't see all of the plastic that we're storing. It's ideal because it doesn't create an eyesore. Matter of fact, when I stand in the gravel pit and I look up, I do see the back of, I think it's probably your house, sir. But it could be another one. But I just see one window on the top floor in the back. What I'm saying is it's not easy, and you can walk out the back, of course, and look in. But the fact is that this is a fairly good site because the amount of visual contamination to the local area is minimized. I'm not saying it's zero, I'm just saying it's minimized. In terms of sound, now, sound is an area that I'm very familiar with. I built sonar systems. I have actually done work in sound at the point at which, I built systems that produce and record sound. I did it for years, and if you looked at my resume on LinkedIn and anybody, it's all public, that's available. Sound is a longitudinal wave. It propagates in the direction in which it's emitted. If that sound is inside an enclosed body, and that enclosed body has anechoic elements to it, like insulation, it absorbs that sound. You can minimize that sound. It just reverberates inside the box. All of our generators, they're not out in the open. It's not on a flat. It's inside a box, and the box is insulated for two reasons. One, for sound, and the other reason is we have to operate in the winter. The other reason we don't use water is because water freezes, and so it makes it very difficult. We don't have a building, so it's very difficult for us to operate year-round. So anyway, as I mentioned, we've been operating in Palmer since 2022. We've never had anyone come to us. We're very, very open, and I'll show you the location in just a second. Never had anyone come to us and say, hey, boy, it really smells. We have an odor here. We have an odor problem. But never had that. We've never had anybody come in and say, gosh, what's that emission I see? Or furthermore, and I'll show you in a second, there's been nothing that's leached out of the stored plastic into the ground. And actually what you can do now, because we've been storing plastic on this site for 3 years, you can come by and actually look, because we've moved those bags. You know where we moved them to? We've moved them to the Houston site. And you can look at the ground where those bags were sitting. I'm going to show you pictures of it, but I invite you to come by. This is a very windy area, and very often the snow will be moved off the lot pretty quickly. So you can actually walk the lot, look, and take and see what impact we've had, and it hasn't been any impact. And so I want you guys to be aware that this operation, the one we're moving here, has been clean. It has been clean. Madam Chair, are we allowed to take questions? Because I'm more than happy to answer questions as they come up. I don't know what the protocol is.
Was this advertised as a public hearing? Okay, then yes.
Oh, sir. This one here, I'm showing on the map. This site here, you see that it says Triveris? That's the owner of these 3 lots that I'm on right now. He wants to build 3 more buildings just like that one on these lots. So he's asked me to move. He wants to use the lots for something else. I am. Plastic comes from the North Slope with thread protectors. It comes from a joint program with the municipality of Anchorage, where we collect post-consumer plastics that are clean. We have someone that monitors that. So when they bring the plastics in, they have to be clean, or we reject them right on site. We get plastic from AWWU. They give us their sewer pipe. It's nice, black. It's not usable for sewer pipe anymore, but it makes fantastic lumber. We get some plastic from the conduit pipe that I mentioned, from places where they have plastic that they no longer need. In this case, there's 130 spools of this conduit. Go ahead.
You're not getting plastic out of South Pacific.
Oh gosh, no. There is some plastic we get that is plastic ocean waste, very small amount. It's in super sacks, and again, we sort through it and throw away the vast majority of it. A lot of what you get off beaches is polystyrene, styrofoam. But we do want to use some of that, so we are embedding it in. But it's not the stuff coming out of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Yeah.
It's which is a fascinating project. They are processing all that plastic in Vancouver, which is pretty amazing, but that's another story for another time. I can tell you a lot more about that. Anyway, so no, we get some of the plastic from the Prince William Sound, a little bit from Resurrection Bay, and that's the plastics that we're recovering.
I worked for AT&T Alaska.
Yeah.
For many years.
Yeah.
And I've been around a lot of gentlemen that have seen it deployed.
I'm not saying it's, I grew up on the fishing boats. I know generators can be noisy, but the way you mitigate that generator sound, because is you put it in a box, and the box is insulated so that sound is minimized, and then you have a really good exhaust system that also minimizes it. Now, if we're able to find a way to get a building on that site, and this is way out. I mean, we're talking about now importable. I mean, this isn't a business. This isn't a business where I'm going to make $1 gazillion next month. I mean, this isn't Amazon. I'm really trying to take what someone thinks is trash and turn it into something useful. That's not an easy process, and the margins are really thin, and you have to kind of bootstrap. You kind of go little by little by little by little. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm investing my time and money. I went 18 months without a paycheck, because it was important for me to make sure that this program kept moving. There's a bigger goal in mind, and that is, can we actually find a way to utilize these plastics and make them useful? And so that's what's been motivating me to move forward with this. And if we can find a way to get a building on the site, and again, we're getting way ahead of myself, but if we could, then we would bring in power for sure. I mean, it doesn't fit financially. Having a generator and running a generator isn't the most efficient way to generate electricity. It's just not. For where we're at and what we're doing, it's the only option we have. 150 kW. Yeah. No, but it's not massive either. I mean, it's kind of in that mid-range. Yeah. It's a Deutz. It's an air-cooled Deutz that we're using, which is an older generator.
Quick question for you.
Sure.
If this is such a great process, why don't you build it in your backyard?
I'm sorry, Tony. I know that you and I have not gotten off on the right foot. I know you're angry. I feel you're angry. I don't know that you're angry, I should say. I'm sorry.
Build in your backyard. It's a great process. None of us want it ours.
Is that a drug? I mean, I don't understand the question.
Are you? Practice is such a good thing. It's so great for everything.
Okay, well, here's the answer to your question then. There's not a 6-acre gravel pit by my house, or I would. There you go.
So if we could,
That's not helpful here, right now.
if we could keep
Point of
these
order.
comments to questions?
We do,
You sort out a piece of plastic.
hand by hand.
You wash it all?
Yes,
You wash every piece of plastic.
it comes clean.
So all that plastic is down below my house. It's been sorted and washed.
It's sorted and ready for processing.
Pardon me?
It's sorted and ready for processing.
So it's been
Yes.
washed.
Well, it depends on what you mean by washed. Washed can mean many things to many people.
A lot of plastic comes with chemicals inside it already. So if you're not washing the plastic and you're melting it, then those chemicals
Yeah.
are
I-
going into the air.
I don't know if I can answer that question without us coming to an understanding of what you mean by wash, but it has been cleaned and it is ready for processing. Yes, I don't have to do
How do you
anything.
clean your plastic?
It comes clean to us. Yes, it comes clean.
From off the beach and the slope and everything, they wash it before they bring it to you?
It's ready for processing when I receive it. Yes.
Be an interesting operation to see. What do you wash the plastic with?
We don't. It comes clean. I mean, that when we receive it, it has been cleaned for us.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
Who established the process for transporting from the north slope to you? Because you're saying it comes to you clean. Do you know what that process is? Is there EPA standards, regulations?
I don't. It comes from ConocoPhillips, comes from Hillcorp. Those are the two companies that provide it.
So AWWU and the Muni, all of them package this up and you just go pick it up from them?
Or they deliver to us. Most of the times they deliver to us.
And is there some way that they certify that it's been clean?
No, not at this time. No. Yeah,
So you're taking it for granted that it's clean when you get it.
I do. Yes. I have that level of trust.
You can't say that it's not gonna put out toxic chemicals if you haven't seen.
Through the chair, I have a question.
The only way we would be able to know that it wasn't would be to monitor it. and watch what it does. So that is something that could be done. I'm telling you, we have not done that. We haven't found that it's been necessary for where we're doing our
But you
operations.
still go ahead and process it without seeing that.
I
Through the
feel
chair,
like I'm not able to get to the nut of the question. I mean, it comes to us clean and we can process it in the form it is.
In order
So-
to process, you have to grind it, correct?
We do.
And when you grind it, does that not create dust?
It can.
Can or does?
It depends on what we're grinding.
Depends on what?
It depends on what we're grinding. So if we're grinding thread protectors, it's a very brittle, thick, heavy. It's a different kind of grinder. It actually tears it apart.
It still creates dust, right?
I don't think it creates the dust you're thinking about. If it's a shredder, it does. There's shredding of post-consumer, but there's dust, sure, a little bit.
Statistics say you can't grind plastic without creating dust.
I'm not going to argue with you on that one. Okay. So
And you can't heat plastic without creating chemicals.
I'm sorry, you can't heat
Can you heat plastic without creating chemicals?
without creating chemicals?
Yeah.
Certainly. I'm not creating any chemicals.
Heating process.
The heating process just changes the composition of the plastic from solid to molten.
Okay, but it goes from solid to a liquid, basically, right?
Somewhere in the middle,
You pour it into a mold.
it's squeezed into a mold.
Does that not steam? Is there not smoke coming off that mold when you pour it?
Only from moisture, only from water, not from anything else. I'm sorry, this young lady here.
The plastics that you use, is it household waste plastic or is it more of an industrial type plastic?
So it's a combination of both. Yeah. Sure.
You say right here, dust particles high on excavations, including haul trucks, open stockpiles. I don't need any more dust particles.
Yeah, that's a comparison table. And if you look up the table, that would be the gravel pit. And on the right-hand side, we were comparing what the gravel pit's impact was against ours. And I think the screening and all of that was the gravel pit side.
How many trucks per hour, 1 truck per hour?
No, I had to pick a number. I didn't want to pick a number that I would be in violation of. So we have approximately 3 trucks a month that come in and drop off plastics. Now, Mr. Wohlers was telling you that we've had trucks coming in quite a bit this summer. We did. We're moving our plastic from one location to another. But I'll tell you this, I was driving those trucks, most of them. And the best day I could get would be 3 loads a day. 3 loads a day. So, and then when we got a side dumper to speed up our moving process, we were still only getting 3 loads a day. So it's, it may appear, the perception might be different than the reality, but we don't think we're not going to be in and out all day long. We're going to be receiving plastics. We're going to be converting it into grizzly wood. We're then going to be loading that onto our former U-Haul van, and we're going to be delivering it out to our customers.
through the chair, I have a question for clarification.
Go ahead, Commissioner Bolbear.
Thank you. Mr. Simpson, when would you be available to provide us with a tour of, is the facility in Palmer still operational, or have you moved everything to Houston?
We've moved a lot of plastic. Let me show you a photo. Right now, this is an outline of our current operation, but there's been a lot of this plastic moved. So if you look at this picture, Madam Faubre, what I'm locating, I'm just showing you some of the things, and this becomes relevant to a later request for an amendment. And it's something we didn't think about, Melissa, when we were doing this initially. But we have trash carts. These are the conduit spools. Over here is water pipe. And then these are all the sacks that we've been storing. So this operation right now is held off because of the winter. I tried operating last winter and it didn't work out well. I haven't done anything. The moment I received the order to stop, we dropped our last load, and I can't leave it in the truck. And we have not been on that site, the Houston site, since then.
You had an order to stop.
We did. And I couldn't do anything else. City of Houston. City of Houston. Yeah. So on October 30th, from October 30th to this date, I have not been on that lot. We have not been allowed to do any operation or anything as a cease order. So we have not violated that order. And I've driven by a couple of times. I don't see any car tracks over there. I don't know if anybody else has.
Okay, so you're not currently in operation as to clarify that.
That's correct. If you wanted to see operations, it would be April. We would start up again in Palmer. And then our plan would be that over this summer, we would move everything in terms of processing and our operations to Houston. That's our goal. That's what
Okay, and how long did you operate at the Palmer location?
From 2022 to present.
So for 4 years.
I would say 2022, 3, 4.
Right.
Yes, you're right, 5. Yeah, 5 years, 4 years. This is
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, in that 4 years, have you had any suits or complaints or anything significant as far as your operations with concern to groundwater contamination, air pollution, any of those kinds of things? Have you had any kind of inspections from DEC or the EPA that you have not passed?
So, no, we've not had any complaints. I talked to the DEC folks in air and groundwater. They called me because there was a concern, and they verified they have never had any complaints from anybody about this location in Palmer. Mr. Wallers was kind enough to contact them about Houston. So the answer to those is no. Now, keep in mind, this project is funded by EPA. This funding is by EPA, and we've had EPA. There's a published document that, from the EPA website that talks about this project and what we're doing.
Yes,
They're proud
One
of
last
us.
question.
So,
I have one last question.
okay.
How close would your nearest residential neighbor be in the Palmer location?
Maybe a quarter mile. There's a residential neighborhood. There's residential neighborhoods going around this, and we're in the industrial park. So, yeah, a quarter mile or less.
Okay.
There's other businesses all around us too. JD Steel, and there's a diesel 1023 diesel, Triveris itself.
Yeah.
There's a brewery across the street. There's an EMT, people that deal with making people well and picking them up in an ambulance. That's right across from us. We've not had any complaints.
Thank you. I don't have
The
any more
picture
questions.
I wanted to show here, if you see this area here, all these super sacks in this orange area have been moved. They've been moved to Houston. And super sack, it's these white sacks that hold the plastic. It's sometimes they're called Gaylords.
Do you have a close-up picture of one particular?
This is somewhat close up. You can see what the super sacks look like.
Salt, gravel, and stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. They're used for wood and all kinds of other things. So I want to back up for a second here. I'm standing right here where that arrow is, that orange arrow. And this is a picture taken the day after Christmas, 2025, just a little over a month ago. And that's what the ground looks like after all those super sacks have been removed that were there for years. And you might look at those two brown spots and go, well, wait a minute, what's that? Turns out I got the forklift stuck. So anyway, you're welcome to come over and verify this. Come over and look at this. This site, 44451 East Steel Loop. You can drive right on, take a look, walk around. If you want me to be there with you, I can walk around with you. Yes, sir.
Does the EPA or DEC can check the soil themselves to see if there's any contamination?
Not that I'm aware of. No,
Have you checked the soil to see if there's any contamination?
no, I have not.
So you can't say that there's no contamination?
I can tell you that when I look at the gravel, I see nothing that has leaked out of the sacks onto the ground.
It says here on this, on your thing, it says what your operation is gonna be. It says noise, motors, pressure, possible screening, blasting.
Sir, that, if you look at that table, I was comparing the prior use, which was a gravel pit, with the current use, which we would have. So what you're referring to there is the gravel pit use.
Will you be doing any blasting?
No, gosh, no.
Then it says dust particles. What does that consist of? Of the grinding and the extrusion or?
Yep, but
And that's plastic particles, correct?
plastic particles that would be cleaned up, contained and cleaned
Which
up.
are contaminants.
I don't know if they're contaminants. I mean, we eat plastic all day long. I mean, you and I are eating like a credit card's worth of plastic a month.
But not in a commercial setting, in a residential area.
Yeah, these are not considered, I don't think they're considered contaminants.
Do your employees wear respirators?
Sometimes, yeah, when we mix,
What's the purpose of respirators?
because there's dust. Yeah.
Dust in the particles.
Yeah, when we mix, yeah. Not when we necessarily grind, but when we mix.
Which can be toxic, correct?
I don't think so, but
I think so.
but we're having him wear a respirator just in case. I mean, it doesn't, I mean, I don't know that.
So, should I wear a respirator at my house just in case? there's particles?
Well, all right, so you're saying where your house is located, how far? Okay, and what's the distance from where?
300 feet.
No, that's from the edge. I'm saying we're operating at the far end of the gravel pit,
How far in the driveway is gonna be?
all the way to the other side down where the marshy side is.
Where the driveway goes back? to the
Yeah, because it's flatter there. It's just
Okay, that's 500 feet from it.
500 feet. So in that 500 feet, it's also got to go up how far? What's the difference in elevation?
I don't know. if it's significant
I
elevation.
would say what's at least 60 feet, maybe 75.
I don't know.
And so we're talking about the dispersion. So well, I just want to finish the thought. So you're talking about the dispersion of a dust from a location inside a container, not outside, inside a container. We don't do anything outside. It's all done inside containers. And it's going to make itself outside.
Container when you do grinding?
Yes.
You're inside of an enclosed area.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought your machinery comes out of the trailers and you use the trailers for office and.
No, gosh, no. That's why it'd be great for you to come and see it. No, all of our grinding, our extrusion, everything is done inside.
And there's no emission of fumes outside.
None that I have ever seen.
Yes, sir.
They wear a, not a respirator, a mask. Yeah. But-
You can get stuff anytime when the door goes, whatever.
So, yeah, but what I'm saying is for those dust particles to make their way out of the container and all the way up to your house, I would say the probability of that is pretty low.
All the way, it's not very far. As the wind blows. like you're
So,
saying.
depending on the direction of the wind and all those other things, but I don't want to, we're dealing with possibilities. What you really should have is some science. Someone that actually says, the dispersion of these particles, given the size and weight, and how far they're going to get. This is the zone in which you have exposure. And then the question you have is that exposure something that could be damaging? Yeah.
Do you have anything that shows the process?
I don't, not,
These other pictures, it's all contained, I'm sorry you guys haven't seen it.
I
watched
is it okay if I quickly look and deviate from the script a little?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because in your packet, you have photos of.
I do. They didn't come out really well, but I can find the equivalent of that, Pat. Yeah, if you-
Through the chair, I do have a question.
No, I did not bring anything that shows that, Tam. I'm sorry. I didn't come prepared for that.
Through
Yes,
the
ma'am.
chair, I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Well-
I'm looking at I'm looking at the PKS Consulting Inc. response and request for information and purpose plastic processing operation. And I'm not exactly sure what page this is in the packet, but it says here in number 5, material safety and compliance. It says, tell me if this is accurate. We have provided safety data sheet for each resin type. These are standard non-toxic thermoplastic materials used in common consumer products. No additives are used in the production of or recycled plastic lumber products. Currently, no DEC or EPA air quality permits are required because the process does not involve combustion, solvent, or emissions above regulatory thresholds.
That is
Is that
correct.
accurate?
That is accurate. And I've attached the SDS safety data sheets for the 4 types of plastics that we process that confirm that.
Okay. When do you think you'd be available to give us a tour of your, you said they're in, it's a remote business, so they are the Inconics building?
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it as early as next Monday. It's just that we won't have anything up and running until April. But we can come out, take a look at everything. You can walk the grounds. You can see how the operation works. You can look at the equipment. And I invite everybody here to come and be a part of that. And we can announce
Also, I
that.
do have one more question. Our new boardwalk that was put in at the Rotary Park across the highway, are those materials from your business?
Yes, they are. Yeah. Channel 2 liked that media post so much. I think they're going to do an article next week on that. Very, very proud of what the Rotary did there. It was a very amazing project.
Thank you for your contribution to that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
No more questions.
I'm just showing some more pictures of the ground after the plastic sacks have been removed. This is a different part of the yard. And again, you can come out and take a look at this yourself. So what I'm requesting is that Tam had said in her public comments that we should remove the liner requirement. I'm going to suggest, and this is my suggestion here, let's not remove the requirement. Let's just not have it right away. And then the Public Works Department, Melissa's and her staff come in and they monitor what we're doing. And then if we need that, we will put it in place or whatever the appropriate mitigation structure is. But to start off with that, given what I've shown you, for 3 years, we have operated without having anything going into the groundwater, no complaints, anything else. I'm not saying no to that. I'm just saying, would you maybe give us the opportunity to operate and then come in and look at it as we go? And if we do need it, we'll do it. But just instead of doing it out of the gate, it's an expensive step. It's a big, expensive step. And there's some of the issues that Tam brought up that I hadn't even thought about, which is the retention of water that can have a deleterious effect. So anyway, and then the second requested amendment is you requested that all of the plastic be contained in super sacks. Well, I hadn't thought of this, but we can't put that big heavy pipe in the super sacks. It's just too big. The rolls of conduit. So what I'm requesting is that we store anything that can be stored in a super sack should be stored in a super sack. No plastic bags, all that. Understand, 100%, absolutely. But if it's too big, then it just be orderly stored, as we've been doing already at the facility. So you can come by and see how that works, but we can certainly show that. So that's the end of my presentation. I don't know how to request these amendments or what the protocol or process is, but anyway, I'd ask that you consider that.
Thank you.
I do have one last question. In the packet, it says that you were funded by EPA, NOAA. In your grant with them, were there any stipulations for inspections?
Not for inspections, no. But we did have to go through the permit review process with EPA. So if there was any permits required, which is why we made the statement at the end of that section that we were below the measurable thresholds for requiring permits. And that was accepted by EPA.
Okay. So with you being in this business for so long and having gone mobile, because you started off as a mobile location company facilitator, that's the way that you're structured right now.
That's correct.
Your intent is to make Houston a permanent?
Yes,
plant?
this is where I'd like it to be my home. And I'd like to be a good neighbor as well. And I'd like to work with the community and make sure that they're comfortable with what we're doing.
There are 3 more acres left.
That's correct. But they're also on marshland. So I'm not sure how usable they are. So, I mean, 3 acres, that's plenty of space there, really. I'm sorry, ma'am? Oh, the marshes? Yeah, yeah. So, I don't see us expanding, beyond. I would have taken 3 acres if they would have sold it to me, but they only sold 6.8. It's just, for all the reasons I said, it was a good spot for us. Sorry.
So the second part of my question is, with this futuristically gonna be your main plant, you won't just be storing the plastics on the property and still going mobile? Your mobile is going to.
I think we have 2 full mobile systems. So I think the way I'm thinking about it today, if you quote unquote held a gun to my head, I would keep one system mobile so that we could continue doing operations. Fairbanks, North Star Borough, for example, is very interested in having us come up and spend time there processing. The Kenai, we've been down to Kenai once and there's additional interest. So keep one system mobile and going to that with mobility, and take the other system out of the connexes and put it into a building. That would be the goal. Yeah.
Okay. And then my last question is, when you go to Fairbanks, Soldotna, all of these locations, do you have to get special permitting from the cities that you're going to?
We work with a local recycling group, someone that's already there that's doing recycling on site. They have stored the plastics themselves. So we're not storing their plastics, they are. So we're just coming in and processing those plastics, and that has not required any permitting.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, I would like to conclude the person to be heard / public hearing. And then I would like to move on to number 11, new business.
Through the chair, I would like to make a motion to postpone Resolution 25 PC05 until our regular meeting in February, to allow us time to have a tour and gather some more information.
I'll second that with that we have another public hearing. Would that work for you in your amendment?
Yes, I would be happy to add another public hearing on February 26th meeting.
Can we have the public hearing on a different day?
You have to remember that we have to renotice this, and we have to put it in the newspaper and renotice the entire thing. I believe it's 30 days we need.
So this meeting was posted in that process? Then, Madam Chair, with that being said, I don't know that postponing the vote today is going to make a difference. And what I mean by that is, We've followed all the rules and regulations. We've done the public hearing. Mr. Simpson has done his presentation. There have been conditions to us approving this tonight. But Mr. Simpson is asking that those be amended, which are gonna have to go back to the city clerk and to the public works before we can take this resolution and pass it on to the city council.
Correct. So I feel that it's appropriate to postpone to the February 26th meeting so that those amendments could happen. And that gives us time to tour the operation with Mr. Simpson. I, for one, would like to see it. I would like to see what the neighbors are concerned about. I would like to see Mr. Simpson's operation and look at it with my own two eyes.
Can the request for the changes be handled at the city council level?
That I cannot answer. That would be a city clerk's. I don't know what the laws governing that would be. Because the way that it is written up right now is that those two amendments are part of your CUP.
Understood. What I'm wondering is, could I request that those modifications to those two, and make that amendment to the city council as a part of the final permit process versus having to extend this process another potentially 2 months? My real concern is we're going to get into summer, and this process started in October, and so and I still have a business that I need to operate, and I'm concerned about.
Okay, I would like to,
Madam
Madam,
Chair, can Melissa answer that question for him?
I'd like to at this time, take a 10-minute break. I, for one, need to use the facilities. So if we could, I'd like to adjourn for 10 minutes and leave everything as it stands, and then we'll come back to it.
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
Okay.
For 10 minutes.
10-minute I'd like to bring us back to the meeting. And Commissioner Colbert, would you restate your proposed amendment again for me, please?
I would like to motion to postpone Resolution 25PC05, a resolution of the Planning and Zoning Commission approving a conditional use permit for Alaska Plastic Recovery located at 11809 West Parks Highway. I would like to postpone to the February 26th meeting to allow Mr. Simpson an opportunity to give us a tour of his business and for us to have time to look at that and decide. I don't believe that we need to have another public hearing. I believe that the one that we have had this evening is sufficient. Am I correct, Melissa?
Okay, can you repeat that one more time?
I'd like to postpone Resolution 25PC05 till February 26th meeting to give us an opportunity to tour the facility.
I believe we'd still have to do another public hearing.
So then would that mean that we have to postpone out to the March meeting?
We'll need 30 days to notice the public of the next public hearing. So
So if our meeting is February 26th,
So that puts us 2 days short, correct? Three days short. Today's the 29th, so we're 3 days short of the 30 days.
But then the staff has to get everything ready to notice it. And it will need to appear in the paper 30 days prior. And getting things in the paper sometimes takes a bit because they're only allowed to do it on certain days, make the posting.
Okay, so in order to respect the 30 days, we would need to postpone till the March meeting so that there's time to have the public, to give proper notice for the public hearing.
Yes.
Then I would like to postpone until the March meeting, which would be, pardon me, let me look at my calendar. That would be March 26th.
that'd be correct. I second your motion for amendment.
Is there any other discussion? Commissioner Ciobola?
I'm good with that.
Then we should take a roll call vote.
Okay, vote to accept amendment. Commissioner Meister? Here. Commissioner Savola?
Yes.
And Commissioner Fulber?
I vote aye to postpone Resolution 25PC05 until the regular scheduled meeting on March 26th.
Motion passes. That moves us to unfinished business. The Planning and Zoning Commission would like to discuss new changes to the commissioner's bylaws. We are still waiting to find out if we need to do a resolution to make our changes to that. So that's gonna just stay on unfinished business until February's meeting.
So I would like to make a motion to postpone both A and B under unfinished business to the
My
regular scheduled meeting.
unfinished, my understanding of unfinished business is it stays on there until such time as it's been taken care of.
Okay.
So we don't need to make an amendment. New business, yes, but unfinished business is just ongoing until it's completed. Then we would
Thank you for
close,
that correction.
then we would close it out. Do you agree with that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, moving on to committee of a whole. Commissioner Savola, do you have anything that you would like to talk about tonight? Not necessarily the topic of tonight, just in general?
No, thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Fulbear?
Nothing to address under committee of the whole at this time.
Commissioner Meister? None. And that brings us to 14, public comment. Would anybody like to speak? Yes, sir. Come right up.
Does the city of Houston have an environmental quality officer?
That is a very good question. I would have to check with the Public Works to find out exactly what the code has established for that.
Because I can see some potential environmental quality issues being raised.
That would be something that the clerk's office and Public Works would have to address.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Would anybody else like to speak?
I just have a quick question. Is the city of Houston equipped to evaluate what goes on? I mean, to like test the soil or the water table? I mean, does the city of Houston have someone that's equipped to do that?
So that would be a question best directed to the city clerk's office. That is something I do not know. If you would like to make a comment, the floor is open.
Well, I guess that was my comment. You know, is the city of Houston going to be equipped to maintain the water table and the dirt and the air quality around this operation in a residential area?
Again, that would be a question that you could take to the city council office. The city council, and this is for everybody.
Where is the city council?
Or not city council, city clerk's office. If you have any questions about anything, the clerk's office is going to be your starting point. Because they're going to be able to look at the code, they're going to be able to do research in reference to your questions. They're going to advise you if it's something that should be brought up to the Planning and Zoning Commission or Parks and Rec or City Council. So any questions that you have in regards to like testing, that would be where you would go to get those answers.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone? Okay.
How you doing? My name is Mike Morgan. I'm one of your newest residents. I'm currently building my retirement home here in Houston. We currently live in Indiana, and we're retiring and we'll be moving this area soon. I have concerns. I'm not either for it or against the project at this moment. Couple of things I was wondering, is it possible to create some sort of a 1-year conditional occupancy of this pit? You know, since he is mobile at this time, planning to become a more permanent thing, it doesn't, you know, for 1 year, it doesn't seem too bad. If people don't like it and they come back and create a stronger argument against it, I think a 1-year temporary permit might be, you know, something to consider. And as far as people going in there, look like they're doing public dumping from the photos I've seen, since there'll be somebody occupying that land, that'll put an end to that. And that may get rid of some of the foul odors they're smelling right now. Another consideration is, in the event that something should happen to where this should happen to catch fire, is the city of Houston equipped with the proper equipment to deal with such a catastrophe of sorts? Because once that does start burning, of course, we all know that that is some really nasty stuff. And if there's nothing they have to be able to address it and put it out, you know, just sitting back, wait for it to burn out doesn't seem like a real good option. Will that require the city to come up with some additional emergency equipment that we'll have to somehow fund and bring into the arsenal? And that's about all I have to say.
Well, thank you very much and welcome to Houston.
Thank you.
Would anyone else care to speak? Seeing no hands or comments, we'll close the public comments. Commissioner comments? Commissioner Fulbear?
Thank you, Commissioner Meister. I would like to say thank you for facilitating the meeting today because I could not be there. I do apologize. I want to thank all of the community members who came out and shared their questions and concerns. I would also like to thank the mayor, our Parks and Rec staff, and our city clerk, and our, public works. I know how hard you guys all work. Mr. Simpson, I really appreciate you coming and speaking to us this evening. I appreciate you being open and ready to answer questions, and I look forward to taking you up on the opportunity to tour your facility. Other than that, I hope everybody has a safe and warm evening. Thank you.
Commissioner Savola?
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Commissioner Meister? I'd like to thank the public for coming out and speaking. We love the community to be a part of what we're doing, where we're going. All of the committees and council, we are geared by your opinion and your input. So thank you for coming out and expressing your views and your opinions. I'd like to thank Mr. Simpson for your presentation. And you handled yourself very well. And that is greatly appreciated and has made the public hearing that much more informative. So thank you for that. And that is my comments for tonight. So at 7:44, I close the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for January 29th, 2026 as closed.